From our NewsNation headquarters in America's heartland, it's time for news for all Americans. I'm Nick Smith. We start this Friday in California, where the Los Angeles County Sheriff says it looks like a bomb was dropped as crews battle yet another wildfire.
So someone purposely set the Kenneth fire?
At this time, that's what we believe, yes.
New this morning, an arrest near the latest Los Angeles area wildfire as we learn this week's unprecedented fires have killed at least 10 people. More than 10,000 buildings now reduced to ashes, many of them homes. We're live in Southern California as firefighters expand their efforts to beat back the fast-moving flames. Plus,
the pattern we're seeing across the U.S. is more people living in harm's way of catastrophes than ever before. There's no area of the country that's immune to risk.
No area of the country immune to risk. Outrage at insurance companies after thousands of Los Angeles homeowners say their policies were dropped just months before this week's devastating wildfires. Are America's natural disasters making the country's homeowners uninsurable? In just hours, a court hearing like we've never seen before. 10 days from his inauguration, President-elect Donald Trump set to be sentenced for the hush money payments he made to porn star Stormy Daniels. We're live outside that New York City courtroom with what to expect and the impact the sentence could have on Trump's presidency. And that's not the only court hearing that has the potential to change the U.S. today.
Aside from money, but just using a platform to be able to connect with people, that's what I use TikTok for, and I hope it doesn't go away.
The app TikTok could be just days away from disappearing from app stores in the U.S. The Supreme Court hearing arguments today about a potential ban, the livelihood of tens of thousands of online people as the court weighs free speech and national security concerns. Those headlines and more now on Morning in America. But this morning we start with breaking news, the trail of destruction left by those historic wildfires in Los Angeles. Right now you're looking live at just one of those fires still burning through the area. 5 wildfires are still burning in Los Angeles County this morning. At least 10 people have been killed, and the medical examiner warns it could take days or even weeks to identify the bodies of those they have found. Neighborhoods across L.A. reduced to rubble, scenes like this popping up across the map as the fires destroyed more than 10,000 structures. Weather forecaster AccuWeather estimates this could be one of the costliest disasters in American history, somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 billion in damage. NewsNation's Xavier Walton has been in Los Angeles in the path of these deadly wildfires since the start. Xavier, 4 days later, and there is some good news. Crews are making progress in containment of some areas, but what is the devastation looking like where you are today?
Hey, Nick, good morning. Yeah, well, when you take a look, I mean, just it speaks for itself. Still, people, families coming back to their homes, finding it hard to come up with the words to really describe what they're actually feeling and also what they're seeing. I mean, keep in mind, this place here just a couple of days ago, it is getting better because this is what it looked like. I mean, when you talk about how strong the winds were and fueling the fire, when we got to this home, initially, it hadn't been touched. But after a few moments, some embers, and then it was fully engulfed. And now when you look at it, I mean, it is almost unrecognizable. And I have a flashlight, and I'm trying to really just see and try to make out what some of these things are. It really is difficult. Earlier, I picked up an alarm clock, and you go back to the patio, and you can see some of the patio furniture. I mean, this property backs up to the ocean. I can see down to the PCH. I can see down some city lights. I mean, this home was fully engulfed in flames, and this is all that's left, reduced to rubble. Obviously, firefighting still going on. This fire here in the Palisades, only about 6% contained. Let's start with the Kenneth fire, though. That burned about 1,000 acres this morning. The LAPD is investigating as a possible arson. Police confirming one suspect is in custody. They spoke exclusively to NewsNation, confident that fire was started by a criminal. Over 35,000 acres have already burned across Los Angeles County since the fires flared up Tuesday. The largest where we are, Palisades fire, nearing 20,000 acres now. That number likely to grow. One fire, the Eaton fire, still 0% contained this morning. That one burned over 13,000 acres, is being blamed for 5 deaths. At least 10 people, you mentioned this, at least 10 people have died in these fires. But county officials warn that number could go up. 3 other fires, the Kenneth, Hearst, and Lydia, burned a combined 2,100 acres, all between 35 and 75% contained, so that's improvement. Some evacuation orders have been lifted at this hour. Some, 180,000 residents were forced out of their homes this week due to these fires. Just under the population of Providence, Rhode Island, to give you a perspective, over 10,000 structures either damaged or destroyed. Some residents were turning to rubble. I spoke to one family who bought their home, listen to this, back in 1969.
If I sound calm,
Yeah.
that's being numb. It hasn't, to process this is going to take a while.
Yeah.
Thinking back on all the photographs I had that I wanted to scan, negatives I wanted to,
Negatives he wanted to, So obviously, it's hard to process everything. And some people are so numb to it, they don't even know what words to use, what words to say. But as people try to kind of wrap their heads around what happened, firefighters are still out here working around the clock, some traveling as far as, New York just to come here, as well as surrounding states. But Nick, it is not over yet. There are more Santa Ana winds. Obviously, it's that time of the year coming. Hopefully, they aren't too bad, but firefighters certainly ready to battle anything that comes this way.
Xavier, we were able to juxtapose the images of you on Wednesday against where you are now and how it looks now. And you mentioned how it's so dark. That's because the power lines have been burned out and there's nothing there, right?
Absolutely. In fact, there's a line down beside our photographer. Even driving around this community, you got to be really careful because there are down power poles, there are down power lines. Even on Wednesday when we were here, we saw power poles on fire. So we knew that was going to be the situation coming in, Nick.
Xavier Walton with the very latest in that damaged area. Xavier, thank you so much and stay safe. An important piece of firefighting equipment is grounded after hitting a civilian drone near the Palisades fire Thursday. This Super Scooper plane from Canada can't fly because it has a hole in its wing after that drone strike. These aircraft can carry around 1,400 gallons of water at a time. Now, the FAA is investigating that crash. And we're just a few hours away from learning President-elect Trump's sentence in his New York hush money case after his conviction last May. Now, Mr. Trump, who was convicted on 34 felony counts, was unsuccessful in his request to the Supreme Court to delay those proceedings. With just 10 days before he is inaugurated for a second term, the president-elect will be the first convicted felon to be sworn into office. NewsNation's Alicia Nieves has more from New York. Alicia, Mr. Trump continues to make history.
Yeah, this is another unprecedented day for President-elect Trump, right? After becoming the first U.S. president to be convicted of a crime last May, today he will face kind of the sentencing for that conviction. We know that Trump has tried to delay this sentencing for quite some time. Last July, this was initially set. The Trump team able to have a delay till after the election, but of course now before the inauguration. This week, though, he did try to do a few last-minute Hail Marys, if you will. The latest and final one being a Hail Mary to the Supreme Court, pleading with the highest court in the land on the basis that the presidential immunity that applies to him even as president-elect. However, late last night in a 5-4 decision released, again, just around 7 last night, Chief Justice John Roberts, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, notably 2 conservative justices, actually sided with the liberal judges to deny this request, assuring that Trump's status as the first felon to assume the presidency. That is going to happen in about 10 days from now. The justices in their decision, though, emphasize the lenient sentence that has already been floated for Trump, writing, quote, "The burden that sentencing will impose on the president-elect's responsibilities is relatively insubstantial in light of the trial court's stated intent to impose a sentence of unconditional discharge after a brief virtual hearing." Just yesterday, kind of another Hail Mary, if you would, that the Trump team had tried earlier this week was a plea to the New York State Supreme Court. That also proved fruitless. They denied his request to delay the sentencing further. So just days again before the president-elect set to take office, sentencing moving forward. And we actually heard from President-elect Trump yesterday, just minutes after the Supreme Court decision was relayed down, if you would. Here's what he had to say.
But we're going to appeal anyway, just psychologically, because, frankly, it's a disgrace. It's a judge that shouldn't have been on the case. He's a highly conflicted judge. and they called for an appeal. So I read it, and I thought it was a fair decision, actually. So I'll do my little thing tomorrow. They can have fun with their political opponent.
Yeah, so the sentencing here is set to start at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Trump expected to attend virtually, so not in person. And as far as we know, the decision really has been that it's likely he's going to have unconditional discharge. That essentially means no penalties, no fines, and no jail time. Nick?
Alicia Neves, thank you so much. I want to bring in trial attorney Rich Schoenstein. Rich, I want to go back to something Alicia pointed out there with that Supreme Court's decision, where they say the burden that sentencing will impose on the president-elect's responsibilities is relatively insubstantial in light of the trial court's stated intent to impose a sentence of unconditional discharge after a brief virtual hearing. Rich, does their decision surprise you, particularly with Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Justice Roberts signing on to that?
I didn't know what the Supreme Court would do. I mean, I think this is the right decision. I think this is exactly what they should have done, but I didn't know if they would get 5 votes to go that way. So the breakdown is a little bit surprising, and I was glad to see it. I think this is appropriate. There's no reason to delay the sentencing because he's going to retain all his appeal rights going forward. He's going to have every opportunity to appeal the sentence and the convictions.
Is it then, Rich, you believe that he kind of jumped the gun with this move?
Well, he jumped the gun. Obviously, he didn't want to be sentenced. They were hoping to avoid that. So they were using the president-elect status as an excuse to avoid sentencing. But, you know, Judge Merchan said, you're the person who asked for sentencing to be delayed because there was an election coming up. Now that the election is done, you say, well, I can't be sentenced because I'm president-elect. That's not consistent. You're the reason we waited to do this, and we should go ahead at this point.
Rich, then help me move this forward. Is it easier now for the president-elect to appeal now that he's actually being sentenced, and how does that process work?
Well, I think it's going to appeal. It's already on appeal and going up in the New York court system. He would have been able to appeal the convictions. He filed an appeal, a notice of appeal after he was convicted, but I don't think he's fully perfected or briefed that. Now that the whole proceeding will be done, I think it is a little bit easier for the court to wrap its arms around, but it wasn't necessary because the state courts would have considered the appeal anyway.
Okay, one more question I want to ask you, Rich, before I let you go. An appeals court just ruled that the Justice Department can release Special Counsel Jack Smith's report on President-elect Trump's election interference case from 2020. The president-elect has 3 days to appeal to the Supreme Court. Rich, what's the likely outcome of this showdown over Jack Smith's report?
Well, that's another interesting one because the issuance of a report isn't a judicial consequence. It doesn't interfere with him at all. It's happening while he's still president-elect, so the Supreme Court ought to let that go forward. But you have at least 4 people on the Supreme Court who are going to do his bidding, going to do everything they can to support and defend him and fend that off. So it's likely to be another close decision. We'll have to see who sides where.
Rich Schoenstein, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
Now to some of the other top stories we're following this morning. On this Friday, a major winter storm is moving east after dumping snow in parts of the southern United States. 4 to 6 inches of snow is expected as far east as the Carolinas by Sunday. And right now, you're looking live at South Lake, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. This is courtesy of EarthCam. That storm already dumped several inches of snow and sleet on Texas and Oklahoma Thursday, canceling classes and creating slick roads for drivers. Today, Arkansas and Tennessee could see the highest snow they've seen in ages. Meteorologist Max Paris will have details on the forecast in just a bit. Actor Alec Baldwin is suing a sheriff's office and New Mexico prosecutors over that fatal shooting while filming a movie. Mr. Baldwin's attorneys accuse investigators of malicious prosecution and violating his civil rights. He went on to say officials pursued him for political and personal gains. All charges against Alec Baldwin have been dropped, but the woman in charge of handling weapons on set is serving 18 months for the death of the film's cinematographer, Helena Hutchins.
Penn State leads by a touchdown. Leonard throws wide open. Jaden Greathouse avoided Jalen Reed and scores.
Yeah, look at everybody going crazy. That's how you punch a ticket. With the spot in the national championship on the line, Notre Dame came up big in the Orange Bowl, tying up the game against Penn State late in the fourth quarter and taking the lead in the final seconds with the field goal from Mitch Jeter. Don't call it the luck of the Irish, though. Notre Dame takes down Penn State in a 27-24 thriller, punching their ticket to the national title game. And the clock is ticking for one of the most popular apps in the country and its place in your app store. We speak live with a TikTok influencer. His concerns as the app faces a nationwide ban and how it will impact him and his livelihood. And caught on camera, a plane crashing and exploding on a beach while trying to land in bad weather. How nearly everyone on board was saved.
I'm News Nation's Nancy Liu in LA. News Nation, news for all Americans.
Your pain shouldn't be minimized or forgotten. When medicine gets better, all of us can get better.
Let's Monopoly go! Friends are like money.
Kiki, I won again?
They make everything more fun. And you can never have enough. Toodaloo.
COVID-19. I'm not waiting. If it's COVID, Paxlovid.
Paxlovid is an oral treatment for adults with mild to moderate COVID-19 and a high risk factor for it becoming severe. It does not prevent COVID-19.
My symptoms are mild now, but I'm not risking it. If it's COVID, Paxlovid.
Paxlovid must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms and help stop the virus from multiplying in your body.
Taking Paxlovid with certain medicines can lead to serious or life-threatening side effects or affect how it or other medicines work, including hormonal birth control. Tell your doctor about all medicines, vitamins, and herbal supplements you take, as certain tests or dosage changes of your other medicines may be needed. Tell them if you have kidney or liver problems, HIV-1, are or plan to be pregnant or breastfeed. Don't take Paxlovid if allergic to its ingredients. Stop taking and call your doctor right away if you have allergic reaction symptoms. Serious side effects can include allergic reactions, some severe like anaphylaxis and liver problems. These are not all the possible side effects, so talk to your doctor.
If it's COVID, Paxlovid.
Ask your doctor today.
Homes.com is a new, elevated home shopping experience. Beautiful design, tremendously rich content, and my favorite touch, it's the only site that always connects you to the listing agent. Feels like a work of art.
Lovely. What about the app?
Uh-oh! Look what I did. It's ringing. Hello? Hello? Hello?
They can't hear you.
Hello?
Because you glued a frame over the microphone.
I think I've glued the frame over the microphone.
Ding dong!
Homes.com. We've done your homework.
When you really philosophize about it, there's one thing you don't have enough of, and that's time. Time is a truly scarce commodity. When you come to that realization, I think it's very important to spend time wisely. And what better way of spending time than traveling, continuing to educate ourselves and broaden our minds.
Viking, exploring the world in comfort.
Safe Flight Repair.
Perfecting your swing is hard.
Nice shot, Dad. Oh. Safe Flight Replace.
But replacing your windshield doesn't have to be. Go to safelight.com and we can come to you.
Sick.
Our highly trained techs can replace your windshield where you are, even if that's right in your driveway.
Have a good day. I love you.
SafeLight makes it easy. Go to safelight.com and schedule a replacement today.
Safe Flight Repair. Safe Flight Replace.
Attention Optimum subscribers. You could soon lose the full range of our programming you pay for. That means losing News Nation, news for all Americans. Call 888-276-5255 to keep your News Nation.
News Nation, with affiliate KTLA, was the first cable news network on the scene.
The reach of Nexstar is one of the biggest assets that News Nation has.
With 6,000 journalists across the country, News Nation is there when you need to know.
All right, I told you this video right before the break, and we talked about it and how scary that is. I want to show you that again, that plane going down, right? This dramatic video shows a private jet overshooting a runway, skidding through traffic, and then crashing onto a beach in a ball of flames. This happened Thursday in Brazil. The pilot of that plane was killed in that crash, but amazingly, a couple and their 2 children survived. Rescuers grabbing the kids from the water. They're all reported to be in stable condition. Officials say bad weather was indeed a factor. And later this morning, the Supreme Court will hear arguments in a last-ditch effort by TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to avoid a ban set to take effect in 9 days. The High Court being asked to weigh the First Amendment against serious national security concerns. Some say this case is more than just losing your favorite social media page and could impact free speech in the years to come, while some influencers risk losing their livelihood. Let's bring in TikTok influencer Jose Rolón. Jose, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Jose, let's break this down there. You have like 550,000 followers, more than 14 million likes. That's no easy feat. How long did it take you to gain the following that you have now? And how does it feel that possibly you could lose it in a matter of days?
Gosh, well, I mean, how long it took, I mean, we started back in 2020 when our family got thrusted into the spotlight just from some of our content going viral, and it resulted in having a family brand. And, you know, we did a whole media blitz, even being on Ellen, for example. And we help brands promote their product. And so, you know, I think financially, if this does get banned, it's going to be it's going to be a bit disheartening. You know, I think that people sometimes think TikTok is just for dances, but the truth is it's a platform for diverse voices, education, and connection. And so we'll see what happens today. You know, I'm hoping for the best.
Jose, I will tell you this. I remember your appearance on Ellen. Your family is absolutely adorable. I have to believe, though, too, the talent alone would allow you all to thrive on any platform. Is TikTok that important to you overall?
You know, it's important in terms of the numbers. Like, you know, I don't necessarily care how many followers I have. I'm not coming from that angle, but you know, when brands are looking to make you an offer, if you lose 500,000 followers, then your offer goes from here down to here. Now, we have almost 200,000 on Instagram, which is great. And we're definitely going to be utilizing some of the other platforms. And that is the lesson, isn't it? It's like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because you never know what's going to happen with some of these platforms, even, you know, a year from now.
Exactly. You know, I'm a guy who still remembers MySpace. So there you go. What have your followers said about exactly. What have your followers said about the content you create, and why is it important for you to have a voice on this platform?
Yeah, you know, not my words, other people who have shared that, you know, our content is sort of, you know, it's representing, it's bridging the gap between Latinx and the LGBTQ community while remaining relatable to all families. And that's a space that I hold dear, and something that, you know, I will continue forward in all the apps. So I'll hold that proudly.
And I'll ask you this before I let you go, Jose. What is your plan if the ban does go through?
Listen, the plan is like what all of us do. We still get up every day and we hustle, right? I think, yeah, I'm a wedding planner. I'm a New York City wedding planner, so I have that business as well. But, you know, in terms of social media, I'll just keep doing what we're doing and get the visibility. Visibility is so important. And so I'll continue to do that wherever I can.
Well, listen, Jose, I don't want them stopping your bag, okay? So whatever you need to do to keep making that money. Jose Rolón, thank you again for joining us. You and your family are absolutely amazing. Thank you for taking the time.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Fire crews work tirelessly, struggling to contain several wildfires in Southern California, destroying everything in their path. We speak to an official about the latest emergency efforts and conditions this morning.
With Dupixent, stay ahead of moderate to severe eczema as you welcome the feeling of touch with clearer skin and less itch. The #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists helps heal your skin from within. Severe allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain, vision changes, or blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma or other medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
Watch your step. Oh. That's why VisionWorks makes it simple to schedule an eye exam that works for you, even if you have a big trip to plan around. Thanks. I mean, I could see you right now. That's convenient.
VisionWorks. See the difference.
When you live with diabetes, progress is having your coffee like you like it, without an audience. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor tracks your glucose in real time, so everyone else doesn't have to. And over time, it can help lower your A1C. Confident choices for more control of your life. This is progress. Learn more and try for free at freestylelibre.us.
Now's the time to go back in time and shine a light on the family journey that led to you. Ancestry can help you piece together the past with billions of records, photos, and more. Memberships are on sale now.
Maya knows how quality care can bring out a smile. But it's been a few dog years since she was able to enjoy a smile of her own. Good thing Aspen Dental offers affordable complete care all in one place. And new patients without insurance get $29 exams and x-rays, plus 20% off treatment plans for everyone. Loving our patients unconditionally. It's one more way. Aspen Dental is in your corner.
Come and get your love.
When my hair started to thin, I thought, am I gonna have any hair left?
After I gave birth, my hair wasn't even thinning, it was gone.
When I spoke to my dermatologist, he immediately pointed me in the direction of Nutrafol.
It's 100% drug-free and clinically tested.
Within 3 months, my hair was fuller.
It's longer, it's so much thicker.
I had more scalp coverage.
It was so nice to be noticed for my hair after hiding it for so many years.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
Are you certain he'll fit?
Sure.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters. When you need certain promo gear, you can be certain 4 Imprints got it. Quality apparel? Got it. Drinkware? Got it. Bags? High-tech? Outdoor? Got it, got it, got it. So go get it at 4imprint.com.
4imprint for certain.
Welcome back, 26 minutes after the hour. Here's a look at the top stories we're following this morning. President-elect Trump is set to appear remotely for sentencing in his New York hush money case. Mr. Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records last May. He wanted the Supreme Court to block the sentencing, but the justices declined to intervene. The president-elect is not expected to face any jail time, probation, or fines. At least 10 people are dead and more than 10,000 structures burned in the wildfires raging across parts of Los Angeles. And right now, you're looking at live at one of those fires still burning. You can see those hotspots there on the ground. Crews are still working to try to contain many of those flames. Communities have been decimated, and what people who live there are describing as apocalyptic scenes continuing for days. Powerful winds have spread the flames quickly since Tuesday. Some of those gusts have died down, allowing firefighters to start making some headway. One fire, the Kenneth Fire, now believed to have been started on purpose. An arson suspect is in police custody. Let's talk with California Highway Patrol Officer Luis Quintero about the latest happening right now. Officer Quintero, thank you so much for joining us. What are you waking up to this morning, and what's the latest that you can tell us?
Hi, good morning. Yes, thank you for having me. Right now, we're still working on 5 major fires here in the Los Angeles region. We were able to control the Lydia fire up north in the Palmdale area, Santa Clarita area. However, that Kenneth fire just started last night, and we're still working on trying to put those out. We got multiple resources. We're stretched out to our maximum capacity. However, we're still fighting. We're still trying to put these fires out.
Officer Quintero, I know that CHP is part of an emergency response plan, and I know that you all prepare for situations like these best you can. How are your officers working as in a supportive role today? What is it that they're doing now?
So we've actually, due to the state of emergency, we've entered a stage of TAC alert where we're deploying more officers into these areas. The California Highway Patrol has taken the role of manning the closures of major freeways and highways throughout the city, as well as assisting with evacuation orders and patrolling these areas.
And when you talk about patrolling these areas, is that so that people can stay out of harm's way, or we're not getting looky-loos, or those who maybe have ill intent and possibly trying to do some type of pilfering like we've heard reports of?
It's a little bit of everything. We're directing traffic, assisting emergency personnel in and out of these hot zones. as well as looking out for looters, people that think they can get away with taking other people's belongings during these difficult times.
Officer Quintero, how do your own officers deal with a situation like this on a personal level? Many of them live in and throughout Los Angeles themselves or have family members. How are they getting the break that they need or prioritizing what they need to do, the mission itself, and their own personal responsibilities?
Unfortunately, we've had officers within the department that have been evacuated, and we're being supportive. We're offering whatever we can to assist and accommodate those officers. They're strong and resilient, so everybody's going through a difficult time. We are here to support one another.
Officer Quintero, one of the situations that we hear a lot about is the fact that people are going back to nothing. Are you letting people return to some areas under a controlled measure, or what's that process like?
So we're still, we're not letting people go into these hot zones. Unfortunately, most people are finding out that their houses are destroyed or burned, unfortunately, to the ground due to media coverage. Media is on scene, and it's a horrible way to find out. Unfortunately, my heart goes out to these individuals. However, we're not letting people into these hot zones right now.
Officer Quintero, before I let you go, what is your message to those who still have concerns about loved ones in the area?
I want to let the public know is stay informed. If you don't need to go into these areas, stay away from them. The air quality is horrible. Right now, we are not letting anybody into these hot zones, and our priority is the safety of the public.
California Highway Patrol Officer Luis Quintero, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You can help those affected by the California wildfires. We want you to scan that QR code on your screen. Head to newsnationnow.com/Red Cross. Meanwhile, a strong winter storm is developing across the southern United States with more than 100 million Americans on alert for heavy snow and ice. Arkansas expected to get some of the highest snow totals from this big system, with big flakes falling in this video from late Thursday. I know where downtown Benton is. NewsNation meteorologist Maxie Paris is in the Weather Center to track it all. Max, I saw that snow coming down in Benton, and I can tell you that many of my relatives in Arkansas don't know what a snowplow looks like because they just don't have a lot of them there.
You're bringing up a great point, Nick, that the infrastructure isn't set for a big snow event across the South, so it doesn't take a lot to see significant impacts, and we're certainly seeing those delays growing at a lot of our big airports right now. In fact, Atlanta, you can see there, Hartsfield-Jackson is the worst airport in the world for travel right now when it comes to cancellations. Nearly 300 flights have been canceled right now. And there's been 2,000 nationwide. So again, it's going to be a slow go for many of our travelers. Charlotte Douglas over in North Carolina, 280 cancellations. Dallas-Fort Worth with that big snow just ending this morning, around 20% of all your flights with over 200 cancellations there. You can see over with our forecast airport delays that the central and eastern United States will see serious impacts. Nashville, Charlotte, Atlanta, those big hubs going to be impacted by this widespread weather maker with snow and freezing rain. You can see the heavy totals here as well. Amarillo, 9 inches. That's the most snow they've gotten in a single storm in 10 years. So it does show the potency of this system with more than 100 million Americans feeling the effects with winter storm alerts right now, that heavy snow, ice, and rain down towards the Gulf Coast. Let's track this out over the next couple of hours, though. You can see this moving towards the East Coast as we get towards the rest of today. There you go. We'll get around 4 to 8 inches for hot spots in Arkansas. Glaze of ice, though, as we look at Atlanta into Charlotte. So again, ice is awful, Nick, especially when you're talking about the Appalachian Mountains there. You're really not going to be able to gain any traction. So the folks are being encouraged, as you mentioned before, hunker down, wait for this storm to pass, and by tonight things will be much quieter for sure.
Yeah, we'll hope that things calm down a bit. NewsNation meteorologist Max Paris in the Weather Center. Max, thanks so much. Right now, we're looking at Atlanta, where snow is actually coming down there. This is a live shot, courtesy, again, of EarthCam. This is something that we don't see often there. And this is something we'll continue to follow, those in that area affected by that weather. As wildfires devastate entire neighborhoods in and around L.A., some of the victims face even more bad news. Insurance won't cover their massive losses. How intensifying disasters are making homes in some areas across the country virtually uninsurable. And don't forget to download the NewsNation app to take us with you wherever you go. Breaking news and updates on all the big stories delivered right to your home screen. Stay up to date and watch anytime, anywhere at newsnationnow.com and in the app. We have more news for all America right after this break.
Despite being on an antidepressant, I was still masking my depression symptoms.
My doctor said it could be because my antidepressant alone wasn't enough, so she recommended an add-on treatment. She recommended adding Rexulti.
When taken with an antidepressant, Rexulti was proven to significantly reduce depression symptoms, more than an antidepressant alone.
So with my antidepressant, Rexulti could provide a boost.
Elderly people with dementia-related psychosis have increased risk of death or stroke. Antidepressants may increase suicidal thoughts and actions and worsen depression in children and young adults. Call your healthcare provider right away to report new or sudden changes in mood, behavior, thoughts, or feelings, or if you develop suicidal thoughts or actions. Report fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which can be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar can lead to coma or death. Weight gain, increased cholesterol, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, falls, seizures, trouble swallowing, or sleepiness may occur.
Could adding Rexulti
be right for you?
Ask your doctor about adding Rexulti.
Did you know 80% of women are struggling with hair damage, just like I was?
Pantene Miracle Rescue Deep Conditioner with Melting Pro V Pearls.
Locks in moisture to repair 6 months of damage for resilient, healthy-looking hair. If you know it's Pantene.
I'm getting vaccinated Pfizer's pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm getting Prevnar 20 because pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital, and my risk is 6 times greater because I'm over 50.
The CDC just expanded its recommendation for those 50 or older to get vaccinated. You're also at risk if you're 19 or older with certain chronic conditions. Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect against both pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle and joint pain. Millions have chosen Prevnar vaccines, which have helped protect adults for over a decade and have an established safety profile.
That's why I chose Prevnar 20.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20.
Do you want a ding to your credit? I don't want a ding. So when I needed a new credit card, I went to Experian. See these cards with no ding decline? Your credit won't take a ding if you're declined, so you can apply with confidence. Get the Experian app now.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like I was losing interest in the things I love. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Caplyta. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Caplyta is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Caplyta can cause serious side effects. Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Caplyta is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Report fever, confusion, or stiff muscles which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements which may be permanent. Common side effects include sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta. Find savings and support at caplyta.com.
Wildfires like the ones burning in Los Angeles right now, hurricanes, and other natural disasters are creating an insurance crisis and could make parts of the U.S. uninsurable altogether. Insurance companies are facing outrage this morning after it was revealed that State Farm dropped thousands of policies in Southern California last year, including in Pacific Palisades. But it's a trend we've seen for years now. Allstate, Farmers, USAA, and more have reduced or entirely stopped offering new policies in areas prone to disasters. NewsNation Ryan Bass has the latest. Ryan, this is a problem that we're seeing across the United States.
Yeah, it's certainly becoming so, especially in those really devastating prone areas, right? You look at California, Texas, Louisiana, where I am here in Florida, just here in downtown St. Petersburg, which saw 2 major hurricanes in a span of 13 days this fall. So getting insurance isn't impossible, but it's becoming much more out of reach for many Americans. And as you mentioned, these insurance companies, they're either cutting back coverage or leaving these states altogether,
with the amount of fires, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods that we're seeing across the country here. And 2024 is expected to be the third out of the last 4 years that we've reached the $100 billion mark in insured losses. People look to their insurance companies to help them rebuild. But from coast to coast, it's becoming increasingly difficult to get coverage or even keep it in some of the nation's most populous states. You know, in the last 2 years, 7 of the 12 biggest home insurers have actually limited their coverage in the state of California. And last year, State Farm canceled thousands of policyholders' plans in and across L.A. County, including in the Pacific Palisades, where we saw those wildfires spark up in Los Angeles. As of 2 years ago in the state of Louisiana, at least 12% of homeowners across the state didn't have any insurance at all. That's according to the Consumer Federation of America. And Florida, here in the Sunshine State, has seen homeowners insurance costs increase by 102% in the last 3 years, according to the Insurance Information Institute. So we actually reached out to them, and they told us it kind of comes with the territory when you choose to live in these beautiful yet vulnerable cities.
If you are willing to live on the ocean in South Florida, you need to understand you are at great risk of loss, and you need to be able and willing to pay for insurance to cover that. If you live in a high-risk area in California that is prone to wildfires, be prepared to, number one, pay higher than average premiums, and number two is be prepared for a potential catastrophic loss.
You know, and many well-known insurance giants, as you mentioned, Nick, have scaled back or pulled out of these disaster-prone areas. State Farm, Allstate, Farmers, Progressive, AAA, and the Hartford are among some of the big names that have stopped writing new policies or left states high and dry. You know, the New York Times found in 2023 that insurers lost money on homeowners coverage in 18 states. That's actually up from 12 just 5 years ago. One of the many reasons we're seeing some of these big insurers backing out. And I've talked to some folks here in St. Pete that are still recovering from these two hurricanes, Helene and Milton, that impacted our area. Nick, they say they're still fighting with some of the insurance companies here to try to get as much money as they can to rebuild. So it's happening across the country and a lot of these areas prone to disasters.
Different neighborhoods, different states. No one is immune. Ryan Bass with the latest. Ryan, thank you so much. Let's bring in Managing Director of the Brantley Risk and Insurance Center at Appalachian State University, Dr. David Marlette. Dr. Marlette, good morning. And one question I have for you. One analyst actually estimates the LA wildfires will cost insurers at least $20 billion. Will this cause more insurers to pull back from doing business, not just in California, but in other states?
Yeah, it's going to continue the trend towards insurers raising their rates and also decreasing the coverage they provide and continuing to pull back. $20 billion in the grand scheme of things globally is not going to be like a very significant, very extremely significant event, but certainly in certain parts of the country, it's going to cause insurers to rethink their exposure.
Needless to say, Dr. Marlette, right now everyone sees insurance companies as the bad guy. You're not surprised at the way this is playing out.
No, and unfortunately, it's the financially responsible move for them to be reducing their exposure. Otherwise, if you continue to lose money, you won't be able to pay any claims eventually.
And the idea behind that is they are a for-profit company, right, Dr. Marlette?
Yeah, most of them are for-profit, but you do have some that are mutual companies, which are not necessarily for-profit, but still they have to earn profits to pay claims in the future.
And Dr. Marlette, when one files a claim, what does insurance normally cover for homeowners who have lost everything, like we're seeing many there in the Palisades? And what options are there for folks who had no coverage?
Yeah, that's a great question because it does vary by peril. And I live in Western North Carolina, and we had a Hurricane Helene come through, and most of those claims were not covered by insurance because of flood. This case will be a little more straightforward because fire is consistently covered. And so from that standpoint, as long as they can document their losses, it should be a fairly straightforward claim.
Dr. Marlette, could you go back to that again? Because I was just having this conversation with one of my producers, how Hurricane Helene, this event came through, but because it was actually flood damage and not storm damage. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, if you look at the major perils, hurricane, flood, wildfires, and earthquake, they're not all covered under the standard form. Earthquakes are not and floods are not. So that makes it very difficult for the consumer to really understand what coverages they're supposed to get and how much they should purchase. That's why it's really important to have a good agent and they can help you with this process as well.
Since you work in this space and you are an expert in this particular area, Dr. Marlette, my question is this. How much are natural disasters upending the insurance industry, and what is the solution?
Yeah, it's certainly been a very rough 3 to 5 years. And they've been through these cycles before, but the last most recent years have been particularly challenging because we've not only had an increase in the frequency and severity of disasters, a warming planet, but we've also had significant inflation. And that means it's cost more to repair the damage. And plus, we have population migration where people are moving to the high-risk areas. As far as solutions, I mean, we're going to continue to see the trend of higher premiums and reducing coverages, but there really needs to be a greater public-private partnership and probably some intervention on the federal level.
Dr. David Marlette, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
A 9-year-old sparking controversy across the country after getting inked in Arizona. Elizabeth Friend is following this one. Elizabeth, not only did she get tattooed, but she was requesting something even more extreme and may have turned heads.
You're right, Nick. So after the break, we're going to introduce you to a family where the 9-year-old did get an American flag tattoo, but what she wanted was a bust of President-elect Donald Trump, and why her older sister also has a patriotic tattoo. We'll have that story after the break.
Jordan's sore nose let out a fiery sneeze, so Dad grabbed Puffs Plus lotion to soothe her with ease. Puffs Plus lotion is gentle on sensitive skin and locks in moisture to provide soothing relief. A nose in need deserves Puffs indeed. America's #1 lotion tissue.
Let's Monopoly go! Friends are like money.
Kiki, I won again?
They make everything more fun. And you can never have enough. Toodaloo!
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for.
Sling lets you do that. Hey, where are you going?
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for and let me pause my subscription when I want.
Sling lets you do that.
Who?
Sling!
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for and let me pause my subscription when I want and have hundreds of free channels.
Sling lets you do that too, Mr. Fish.
Choose and customize your channel lineup or watch for free. Sling lets you do that.
My mental health was better, but uncontrollable movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia, started disrupting my day.
TD felt embarrassing. I felt like disconnecting. I asked my doctor about treating my TD and learned about Ingrezza.
Ingrezza is clinically proven to treat TD, quickly reducing TD by greater than 5 times at 2 weeks. #1 prescribed Ingrezza has dosing that's always 1 pill once daily, and you can keep taking most mental health meds. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden behavior or mood changes, or suicidal thoughts. Don't take Ingrezza if allergic. Serious side effects may include allergic reactions like sudden, potentially fatal swelling and hives, sleepiness, the most common side effect, and heart rhythm problems. Know how Ingrezza affects you before operating a car or dangerous machinery. Report fever, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these might be life-threatening. Shaking, stiffness, drooling, and trouble with moving or balance may occur.
Take control by asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
Watch your step. Oh. That's why VisionWorks makes it simple to schedule an eye exam that works for you, even if you have a big trip to plan around.
Thanks.
I mean, I could see you right now. That's convenient. VisionWorks. See the difference.
At Morgan Stanley, old school hard work meets bold new thinking. Partnering to unlock new ideas, to create new legacies, to transform a company, industry, economy, generation. Because grit and vision, working in lockstep, puts you on the path to your full potential. Old school grit, new world ideas. Morgan Stanley.
Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors. Easy to apply for the whole family. Vicks VapoStick. And try new Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
HomeGlow just cleaned my entire house for $19. Seriously, $19. They showed up right on time and did my dishes, my laundry, they even cleaned my windows. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19. I love using HomeGlow, and I think you will too.
I can feel the winds of change.
When you're paying high interest on your credit card balance, it's hard not to feel like debt follows you everywhere. In only a few minutes at FinanceBuzz.com, you can easily compare credit cards that offer 0% intro APR periods for up to 21 months. Stop making high-interest credit card payments and transfer your debt to a card with a fantastic 0% intro APR. Take control of your credit card debt now at FinanceBuzz.com.
Welcome back, 49 minutes after the hour, and right now you're looking live at the roads in Atlanta. Hundreds of flights have been canceled because of a storm, a mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain falling across I-20 right there. That's that major thoroughfare that goes east and west through downtown Atlanta. Yeah, many across the south are on alert for heavy snow and ice. We'll have a weather update on all of that in just a bit. Police in Melbourne, Australia are asking for help identifying this arson suspect after he got a taste of his own medicine. This footage taken early Christmas morning shows two people approach a fast food restaurant with a can of flammable liquid. But as soon as one of the suspects starts to light the flame, his pants catch on fire. The motive behind the suspected arson attack and the suspect's condition remain unknown. Well, it sounds like a parody, but it's actually real life. A tattoo parlor in Arizona is going viral after an artist documented himself inking the American flag on a 9-year-old girl. He says it wasn't what she and her parents requested when they originally came to him. NewsNation's Elizabeth Fran joins us now to tell us more. Elizabeth, first of all, what did the parents actually want before they settled on the flag?
Right, so this is in Yuma, Arizona. When the family arrived, they wanted a bust of President-elect Donald Trump. This was back in May. President Biden, who is in office now, was still in office at the time. So we spoke with the artist. His name is Sosa. He's getting a ton of reaction online because he posted it on YouTube and other social media outlets where he's inking this 9-year-old girl with an American flag. He is the co-owner of Black Onyx Empire. Now, he did try to dissuade the family. He charged them much more than he normally would. This would normally cost $80. He charged them well over $500. He looked at the laws. He spoke with them before he did it. But listen, he told us that the family wanted to display their patriotism, that they're just so grateful to be here, the refugees from Turkey. So here's his side of the story. Listen here.
And they're just very happy of the opportunities that America gave to them and their family. The freedom that they were given. You could tell in the video that I sent you, she's not a normal 9-year-old girl. Like, you could tell when she's seeing things that other normal little kids have not experienced, you know? Like right here, little kids are used to playing with a soccer ball or playing outside over there. I'm sure it's different.
So, Nick, you can take that information and make your own opinion here. Now, she does have an older sister. She's 18 years old, but she also has an American flag tattoo that she got around 9 years old. Nick?
Elizabeth, question for you, though. Where is it legal for underage people to actually get inked?
Well, it's different state by state. There's no federal law. Certainly anyone under the age of 18 can't engage or enter in any type of a medical contract. So we looked at some of the laws to give you an example. So Arizona and Hawaii, you have to have parental consents across the board. If you look at Idaho, you do have to have the consent of an adult. You have to be at least 14. Same with Colorado and New Jersey, although it's a little bit older, you have to be 16 years old. And in Georgia, a physician has to be present. These are just examples. Certainly every state is different. And you might be wondering, can the businesses turn families away? Of course, Sosa had the legal right. He's the co-owner of a private business. These business owners can turn people away. It's just whether or not it's good for business. Nick?
Elizabeth, thank you so much. Right now, we're following the efforts to get the flames under control in Los Angeles. Our Xavier Walton will show us what the situation is like right now on the ground as wildfires rage across the area.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like I was losing interest in the things I love. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Capilita. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Capilita is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Capilita can cause serious side effects, Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Caplyta is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Report fever, confusion, or stiff muscles which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements which may be permanent. Common side effects include sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta. Find savings and support at caplyta.com.
Safe Light Repair. Safe Light Replace.
Nobody likes a cracked windshield. But at least you can go to safelight.com and schedule a fix in minutes.
Can confirm. Very easy.
SafeLight can come to you for free. And our highly trained techs can replace your windshield right at your home.
Safe Light Repair. Safe Light Replace.
Go to safelight.com and schedule a replacement today.
Do you feel you have been cheated out of a healthy body and weight control? Do you feel you have tried everything and need help on your journey to a healthier, more in-control you?
I decided to try it, and I lost 20 pounds with Lipozene.
I lost 35 pounds in 10 weeks using Lipozene.
I lost 7 inches off of my waist, and I lost 2 dress sizes, and I feel amazing.
For the past 20 years, Lipozene has been an agent of change in weight loss, helping millions achieve their weight loss goals. You can try Lipozene risk-free for only $29.95. And if you aren't satisfied for any reason, we'll refund your purchase price.
With Lipozene, I lost 19 pounds and 5 inches, and I feel great. I feel happy, I'm healthy, and I look great.
With Lipozene, I lost 29 pounds, and I feel fabulous.
Lipozene helped me take out all that body fat, and I feel amazing.
Feels great to have a six-pack. I didn't think I would have it at my age.
Lipozene and I make a strong weight loss team.
With Lipozene, I lost over 23 pounds. I went from this to this with Lipozene.
I've lost 112 pounds with America's #1 diet supplement, Lipozene.
Lipozene is worth the price because Lipozene is clinically proven to work. Lipozene is available over the phone direct from the manufacturer. Call right now to try Lipozene risk-free for 30 days for only $29.95. Call or go online right now and we'll double your order and include Metaboa Plus absolutely free. All this for just $29.95 and your shipping will still be free. This offer is not available in pharmacies or drugstores. Remember, Lipozene is clinically proven to help you reduce your weight or body fat, or we will refund your entire purchase price.
Call 800-434-9391. That's 800-434-9391, or go to lipozene.com.
And Rhea again.
Will you marry me?
Oh, nicely done.
Rhea, Susan, Matthew, will you marry me?
Oh, I get so nervous when I see those things, right? Talk about creativity. One Wheel of Fortune contestant got a very special surprise on the show Thursday night. Host Ryan Seacrest and Vanna White helped Robin, the boyfriend of contestant Rhea Matthew, pop the big question. This successfully solved puzzle is today's Dose of Happy, and congratulations to those two. All right, on this date, Elvis Presley recorded a hit single. Plus, we recognize the first popularly elected African-American to take a seat in the U.S. Senate. Today is January 10th. Be sure to water and tend to those plants on this National Houseplant Appreciation Day. In 1863, the Tube, also known as the world's oldest underground railway in London, opened. Elvis Presley recorded his single Heartbreak Hotel at RCA Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. And Edward W. Brooke took his seat as the first popularly elected African-American to the U.S. Senate.
So we're going to deal with this as a family.
In 1999, the first episode of The Sopranos aired on HBO. The dramatic series widely hailed as a classic years later. And in 2023, who could forget Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, hitting shelves worldwide and revealing controversial details of his upbringing and falling out with the British royal family. Yeah, Prince Harry's memoir Spare sold more than 6 million copies worldwide. It also broke several records, including fastest selling nonfiction book and largest first day sales. Hey, if you have your cup of coffee, you're in the right spot because we have more news for all America starting right now.